Okay, this was requested by the bartender Jen, and she is totally right. This is gonna be fucking awesome.
Well, here we go.
Click the dial, spin the tail. Heroes rise, villains fail. Echoes bounce through the airwaves loud. Comic books and cold hard crime, past and present, lost in time. A podcast world where geeks are proud. Nerdery and Murdery, where the stories collide free from capes to killers on the spree.
Welcome to episode 222 of Nerdery and Murdery.
Big 222. I'm Zig with your nerdery.
And I'm Geoffrey with your Murdery. Welcome to another week of the highs and lows, the ups and downs, the good and the bad, and the nerd and the murd. I have two birthdays to talk about. Even though we're far in the future, when we're recording this week, I want to say happy birthday to our very dedicated listener and former guestery, Brenda.
Brenda!
Happy birthday to Brenda.
Happy birthday, Brenda.
And the second birthday this week to Mr. Ziggy. It's his birthday this week. He's going to be
Yay.
60.
I'm gonna be 52.
Oh, I guess I got that wrong.
60.
Whatever.
Damn it.
Whatever. So happy birthday to both y'all. Brenda, like I said, has been a guest on the show multiple times.
Oh yeah. 3-4 episodes.
And
She gives me crap. I like
we
it.
we are her second favorite podcast. I actually think we're her first.
But she can't say that.
Love you, Mike.
Love you, Mike. Yeah, that's Mike's wife.
But yes, she's a very dedicated listener to the show. Very appreciate all the time she's been on. So very happy birthday.
We love you, Brenda.
Absolutely. I tried watching that show Touching Evil.
Uh-huh.
It was a little slow to me and a little.
Okay, the American version or the British version?
The American, the one with Jeffrey Donovan.
Yeah.
Plus the first episode made me feel like I was missing a whole episode so there must have been a pilot that they weren't showing.
Well, okay, so the story starts, he is coming back after being shot in the head.
Right. But the way they present it in that American version is like you should have seen the episode where it happened.
Yeah. Well, you eventually do, but it's in pieces throughout the series.
Yeah, so it was interesting enough. I need to get back to it, but I'll say this about that. I didn't see the year that it came out, but this show looked like one of those that in the mid, early, maybe late 90s, I can't remember, when you had these TV shows on late at night that were allowed to be a little more risque than during prime time. So a la Silk Stockings. That was one I watched on a regular basis. I really like Silk Stockings. But the format of the show, the way it was filmed, the cameras, everything reminded me just of those type of shows. And so I think, do you know if it was one of those?
Well, okay, I know that this show was the main vehicle for Jeffrey Donovan before
Burn Notice.
Burn Notice. But I think most of the production company is the same production company.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I think you're right. I think it's one of those ones where it was a basic cable show that was on kind of late.
Not basic cable. There was network, because Silk Stockings was a network show, but they showed it like after the late night talk shows.
Yeah, like the British would show what they call post watershed.
Yes. And so it kind of made me think of that. So I'll get back into it. I like Jeffrey Donovan. I really liked him in Burn Notice. I really liked him in Shut Eye. I was disappointed with RIPD 2, but he was in that. I think he's a really good actor. I love him. But like I said, Burn Notice is my favorite. I love him, especially because you have the greatness of Bruce Campbell in it. So anyway, so I tried. We did finish The Night Manager. I don't remember if I told you about that or not. That's the uh Tom Huddleston and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Blackadder House.
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really, really good. I would definitely
Is
watch
Hugh
that.
Laurie? Yeah, is Hugh Laurie playing an American or a British person in this?
British.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
he's actually using his actual accent.
Yes, he is very British. And he is evil. Evil, evil, evil. I would definitely give The Night Manager a watch. I'm anxiously awaiting season 2 on that. Then the other show we picked up that I'm thoroughly enjoying is Almost Paradise.
Oh yeah,
Another Dean Devlin,
Dean Devlin and Christian.
Christian Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very upset because it's already been canceled. It was 2 seasons and it didn't have the viewership. He is shopping for another service to pick it up because we're watching it on.
Well, he got such a great deal from the Filipino government because they don't film a lot of stuff in the Philippines, and it takes place in the Philippines. It's actually filmed there. And honestly, Christian Kane and Dean Devlin like to go down there for a few months and work and play, which is what they do.
And what's funny, I like Christian Kane as an actor, but in everything I see him in, he's the same person.
Yeah.
He's the hitter. He was the hitter in Leverage when he was in The Librarians, even though he was supposed to be the super genius, he's still the hitter. And in here, he's a former DEA agent, and yeah, he's still the hitter.
He's still the hitter.
And it is very funny, but I like him in that role. He does very well in that role. So I hope they pick this up somewhere else. We're only in season 1, but it's the reason I love the Dean Devlin shows is number one, they're very intriguing. They're good stories, but they're also fun to watch. They're kind of a little lighthearted, and after just getting out of The Night Manager and Jack Ryan, we needed something a little more light. So I'm glad we came across that because it's not.
The dialogue is very playful in all his shows.
Yeah, absolutely. He's very playful in everything he does, and it's a lot more light toned and not as heavy as some of the shows we've been watching. So we needed to kind of get a break for a little bit. But Almost Paradise, highly recommended. Very good. I hope that Dean Devlin gets it picked up somewhere. I'm kind of curious if somewhere, because I think we're halfway through season 1, if there's going to be some Leverage guest stars, like the actor who plays Hardison. He seems to appear with Christian Kane a lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember his name.
No, that's Hardison's first name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I just drew a blank. Aldous Hodge. Aldous
Hodge, yes. Who was brilliant in Cross, by the way, on Prime. I highly recommend that too.
Played Alex Cross. Yeah.
Yeah. He played Alex Cross and it was brilliant. I'm hoping
he's also doing that show King on the Hill, and he's doing Leverage. He's busy.
Yeah. Is Leverage still going on? The Leverage revisited, rebirthed, whatever it is.
Yes.
We need to finish that up.
As a matter of fact, they just cleared a like a 3rd season.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, Aldous Hodge is working.
That's great.
And he was in Straight Outta Compton. He played MC Ren.
Yep. So that's what we got going on in our lives. Book update. Just for those of you who are listening and don't know if it's out or not, by the time this episode released, the book should be out. I'm currently, my publisher said the draft physical copy of my book should be shipped to me within 10 to 14 days as of Thursday or Friday, whenever it was. So once I have the physical copy in my hand and I give the final approval, then we'll go to print. So I expect from the time we're recording, we're maybe 20 to 30 days out tops. So by the time this episode releases, should be out. Make sure to check it out on Amazon. You can also check out my website at jeffreyhwright.com. And there is a Facebook page for Prime members as well. If you haven't already gone there and looked at the preview with the character bios, please do. I recommend that.
We've put out a bunch of stuff on our Nerdery and Murdery and TikTok pages as well.
Outstanding.
So there should be plenty of stuff for you to see.
Outstanding. All right. I don't have anything else. If you have anything, go for it. Otherwise, let you take it away.
Okay. This is about bands from the Valley that Jenn did. I'm gonna have to give like a 2-minute history lesson on why the sounds that you're hearing are in the music, so it might make sense better.
Yay.
What? Yay? What?
Yay.
What?
Nothing. Continue.
No. What is it?
Nothing. Go on. I'll tell you in my notes. Go on.
Okay. So, for those who didn't, for those who didn't pay attention in world history class, Spain was controlled by the North African Moors for 1,200 years, or most of it was, right? So there's this heavy Middle Eastern influence in Spain, or more succinctly, North African. A lot of North African sounds and music and food and culture and stuff. That's kind of an undercurrent in Spain. Well, after the Reconquista, which happened right before they started going over to the New World, I mean, when I say right before, like almost at the same time, right? So a lot of those North African people became Spaniards in, a few years before they basically left to go to the New World. So a lot of, not necessarily the captains and the commanders and things like that, but the actual on the ground soldiers who were going in were usually North African dudes, because they could pick up a better time of it. It was a little less hard for them to make a go of it in the New World. Now, when they got there, they made a hard go of it for the people who were already there. But that's beside the point. The point I'm trying to make is that there's this Middle Eastern undercurrent in the music, in the food, and things like that when they get to Central and South America and the Caribbean. At the same time, there were several empires going on in Mexico and Texas at that time that had their own cultures and thoughts and ideas and the way they made music and things like that. What we're talking about today is how all that music makes sense, because it's all in there. You get Middle Eastern flair, you get Mexica or Aztec. They use Aztec because the name for the Aztec people was Mexica, but it's also the name of the country for Mexico. So they started using Aztec to differentiate the two when you're having a conversation. Maya influences, stuff like that. All of that's boiling over. Plus, in Texas, we were owned by Spain for a long time. We were owned by Mexico for a long time. We were owned by France for a long time. This is a multicultural place and always has been. And especially right there at that Rio Grande River, there's a lot of cross-cultural things going on. You've got the Germans that came over in the 1850s, and you've got the Czechs that came over with them. There's an interesting undercurrent of Ashkenazi Judaism that was also going on, as well as Sephardic Judaism that came from Spain, because they were basically told leave or convert, so they went west.
And for those of you who aren't aware, there's a reason it's called Six Flags Over Texas. There were six flags that ruled the country of Texas at one point, the land of Texas, if you will.
And most of them within a period of about 60, like the first four was like 50 years. Yeah. It's in one person's lifetime.
And there was a lot of different cultures that were populating the state. Some people will be very surprised to find out there is a very big German culture in the state
Yes.
of Texas. The German actually lost out as the official language of Texas by 2 votes.
2 votes. Two
So
votes.
it was
It was either
huge.
it was German and then English and Spanish were about tied for number two. The
Yeah.
English and Spanish people decided to get together and say, well, we'll just go with English.
Yeah.
And they won that by 2 votes when
2
they
votes.
were voting on it for the Republic of Texas.
So a very big Germanic culture. There's a lot of Czech culture here as well. We've talked about the kolaches in West Texas. That's Czechoslovakian. The entire town is built around Czech culture.
Yeah.
And then very heavy Hispanic culture here in this state as well. Of course, you understand our proximity to Mexico. So the culture within Texas is just all over the place.
Oh, it's everybody. It's everybody. And people don't realize that. They think, well, it's all oil wells and horses and cowboy hats. No, it's multicultural. We were crossroads. The name Texas means friendly meeting place. That's what it means because we were a crossroads. This music that we're exploring today is all about that. You can hear everything that I'm talking about, including weird ass punk rock from New York City. It's just weird, but wonderful. So we're talking about bands from the Valley. So a lot of these bands are unsigned or on local independent record labels. So some of my information is a little scant. The first band we're going to talk about is Piñata Protest by La Chona. Or I'm sorry, La Chona by Piñata Protest. Right, Piñata Protest is an American punk rock band from San Antonio. The band is noted for their amalgamation of Tex-Mex and punk music with lyrics both in Spanish and English. And in 2006, lead singer and accordionist Alvaro Del Norte originally formed Piñata Protest with 3 other musicians, Manuel Garcia and Victor Luna. And Elliot Ramirez, the bassist, have all left the band. In 2010, they had a debut EP, Plethora, was released in March of 2012. Piñata Protest first performed at South by Southwest and have appeared multiple times. In 2013, NPR Music referred to Piñata Protest EP El Valente as the ultimate lesson of the combination of accordions and punk representing an organic expression of bicultural life lived by millions across this country. It's actually not bicultural, it's multicultural, but you get what they're saying. In May 2015, NPR's Alt Latina said Piñata Protest, we are big fans of the band. In late October of 2016, Piñata Protest went into the studio with producer Dave Irish to record Pot of Gold recordings in Orange County. Their brand new EP titled Cuatro Éxitos was released in May of 2017, featuring 4 tracks. The band released their full album, Nacio Nights. It was released under the Spanish label Kasabian. They are influenced by the Ramones, Nirvana, Los Crucidos, Tex-Mex, and Norteño bands such as Los Tigres del Norte and the Texas Tornadoes. What did you think about La Chona by Piñata Protest?
One of the things I really love about piano rock bands is the frequent use of the accordion, or as they call it, the squeeze box.
Yes.
Like the Last Bandoleros. Last Bandoleros have been touring with Sting for a while, and I got to see him in concert a few years ago, and they opened, and then they played with him during his set. I dug this song a lot. I could tell it was a punk song for 2 reasons. Number one, the just it's a punk song. Number 2, the length of it. The song wasn't even a minute and a half. And that would be my one complaint about it. I dug this song a lot. My complaint is my complaint was it was too short. I would definitely listen to more of them though. I like this band.
That pop punk sound is really fun, but you're right. They do keep with the punk ethos. It's like, okay, this is great, but we need to go on to the next song. So none of them are over 2 minutes.
Yeah, and that's the one thing about punk songs. If I like it, it's too short, and I'm like, can we continue this a little bit? So no, I like this one.
If you don't like it, it's too long.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I love these guys. Again, this is not my favorite in this list. I'm gonna gush about my favorite.
It's not my favorite as well, but they're very good.
Yeah, I like him. And again, the liberal use of the accordion, which comes from he was saying German. That is what influenced accordion music and Tejano music because they brought them with them. Accordions and tubas. You'll also hear tubas in here because they were playing oompas. What's oompa music? I'm drawing a blank on the word.
Oompa? What do you mean oompa?
Oompa music. You know, the German oompa. The Poles like it. The Germans like it. Polkas.
Yes.
Polkas have a big influence as well. And that comes from that swath of German and Czech Texas.
Yeah.
The next band, the Tronauts, with the song Crimson. They're referred to as a stoner grunge band located on both sides of the Mexico-Texas border. So right along that river valley that Jeff is living in now. They have a wide variety of dark and aggressive influences, ranging from extreme metal or hardcore to doom and industrial. Los Tronauts' sound is constantly evolving, merging and experimenting, always rooted in a mix of sonic aggression and melodic elements. Now, they are referred to as Los Tronatas and the Tronatas. So I'm not sure what the official name is. I think they use both interchangeably. What did you think about Crimson by Los Tronatas?
I really, really love the open of this. Let me kind of explain how I listen to these lists. I sometimes go through these lists 2 or 3 times unless I absolutely hate them, which I'm going to be honest, I expected to on this. I thought this was going to be all piano punk, and I was like, not ready for this.
Yeah. No, this is a little bit of everything. We got this list from a friend of ours.
Yes. Jenn, who is a bartender where I golf, she is the one who gave this list, and so big shout out to her. Hopefully she's listening.
Matter of fact, the name of this episode is titled "Bands from the Valley." Thank you, Jenn.
Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to like it, and so I listen to these to the side sometimes when I'm working, and I'll listen to the playlist, and I might put a noter here. Then I'm like, oh, I got to go back. I need to listen to that, some notes. And this was one of those that I started as I was working away just to keep something playing off to the side, because I like to hear music while I work. But this one made me stop and go, I need to pay attention to this song, because I absolutely love the open, that deep bass note at the open. Mm-hmm. This sounded very goth to me. What I would expect it for goth. I could see this in a really cool vampire movie, not a fucking Twilight glowing vampire fucking movie,
a real vampire movie,
a cool, good vampire movie, a true movie. The singer almost sounded if they were trying to sound very Ozzy-like. Mm-hmm. That I thought was really cool. If they ever make and I'm going to qualify this, a good Lost Boys 2, this could go in there. I don't recognize the actual Lost Boys 2 and don't.
Well, it was originally a werewolf movie that they made Lost Boys.
It was terrible.
About werewolves who were bikers, which totally makes sense.
Lost Boys 2 was terrible. I don't count it. It's just like Highlander 2 doesn't exist.
There was a Highlander 2?
Yeah, it doesn't exist. But this was very, very good. And like I said, this would really fit in a cool vampire movie. Great song.
Yeah, it is a great song. I like this one. It's a little heavier than I normally listen to, but yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one is The Mutants, and the name of the song is Transit Method. Now
reverse that.
A Transit Method. The name of the song is The Mutants?
Yes.
Are you sure it's not the name of the band is The Mutants?
100%.
Okay. Here's the thing. The video I could find has like 4 songs in it. Cage the Beast, Paragon, Backlash, and Mutiny.
Yep.
So you actually get 4 songs for the price of 1. They are from Brownsville. They are very local. There's not a lot of information on them. You should go out and check their website, which I believe we have listed. But this video is fucking killer. But it's 4 songs, not 1. Because that's all I could find. But it's so good, I didn't want to cut it up. You know what I mean? It's just so good. It's them in their house playing basically a 4-song EP. So you should listen to the whole damn thing. What did you think about this particular tune or 4 tunes?
I didn't realize it was 4 tunes when I started, and this was another one. So I got past the last song and I went back to work, let it play, and then came to this, and this one immediately turned me back. The opening of this song fucking kicks ass.
Yeah.
The more I got into this song, the better I liked it. And I'm not going to say this lightly. This song was very Rush-like.
Mhm.
And it was at that point when I was like, holy cow, this song is almost 12 minutes long. And I want to hear every second of it.
Nice.
Halfway through the song, it just got better and better and better. And that's the point where I saw it was 4 different songs. And I cannot get over how much I like this song.
Mutants is the name of the 4-song EP.
Correct.
Now I got it. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm about to get why I know 100% their name is Transit Method. I did not want this song to end. I liked this so much, I immediately turned over to Facebook and found them and started following them and then reached out. They responded in 5 minutes.
No shit.
Yes, 5 minutes later, they responded. Hopefully they're listening to the show about right now.
You guys are badass.
Yeah, I told them about the show. I told them we were going to feature them on the show. And the person who responded to me, and I apologize because I don't think I got the name of who was responding to me. It was somebody from the band. But they said I made their day by telling them how much I like the song, and I'm very happy to be talking about them because I cannot say enough. Listen to this song and listen to every single second. 12-minute song, go longer. Yeah. I could listen
to
this.
Put a 5th song in that EP, buddy.
Oh my gosh, it is great. And I started listening to others of their stuff. This was my favorite song in the list. By far, this was my favorite song in the list. These guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Please go listen to them. Watch that video. It is just It is. It's just them playing in their house. But from the opening of the song, that was just a stop down for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, it kicks ass.
Yeah, it does.
It was great. It was great. Transit Method is a great band. Great band. I've got to find where they're going to play locally and go see them.
Well, I mean, they're in Brownsville, so yeah, I'm assuming if they're playing locally, it's going to be around you somewhere.
They are, and I know they play in Austin as well. They probably play in various places in the state, but I'm going to look for when they've got a show here and go see them because I can't get enough of these guys.
Yeah, Transit Method's badass.
Yeah,
and again, it's Transit Method. The EP is Mutants.
Correct.
And the songs are Cage the Beast, Paragon, Backlash, and Mutiny.
Well, and like I said, that's why I was 100% certain that's the name of the band because their Facebook page is
Transit Method.
Yes.
They are badass. And again, all of these bands are, they may not necessarily be local, but they play locally. It's like they're based there in and around the valley.
Mm-hmm. The Rio Grande Valley. The Rio Grande Valley, for those of you who are not familiar, because we didn't put it here at the beginning, it's the Rio Grande Valley, and it's the McAllen Brownsville area is what they call it, because you've got McAllen, which is the big city down here, and then Brownsville would be next, and then all the little towns in between. Because I mean, you've got things like Mission, La Feria, Mercedes, Weslaco, Harlingen, San Benito. We've got Padre Island down here. This is all called the Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah, so what it is at the little point, the little corner of Texas, the bottom point, there's a little strip that follows the river up. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, and it's not the whole river, but it's very long but very narrow.
Yes,
the area he's talking about.
This area was a critical, important port for the Civil War. The Brownsville port was very critical in the Civil War.
That's where the Juneteenth was proclamation was addressed, was right there.
Right. Well, they were able to get in munitions and supplies this far south and send it up into the war because it was easily defended. It was easily defended, and you couldn't get there easily. It wasn't worth the North's time to guard against this port because it was just so far south. So it was a very important part. Railroads were put in here that also sent it up. So it was that's what the area's origin was. It was very critical for the Civil War.
Yeah, it's a cool little area. And what's great is, again, not so much now, but like when we were kids, that border was pretty porous inside that strip on both sides. Like you could go up 10, 20 miles. You didn't need a passport or anything. There's a lot of trade back and forth. People would work on one side and live on the other, vice versa. When you need to go, and Geoffrey to this day, he still goes to the other side to get like medicine and
Mexico. Yeah. I go into Nuevo Progreso.
Yeah, Progreso, and have a good time. Enjoy the local flair. Just, but yeah, it's a cool place. And these guys, all of these bands are based in the area because, as he said, there's 100 little towns and cities, but they're all connected. So it's like a sprawl, a narrow band on both sides, but it goes east to west as opposed to north and south.
Yeah, as you were if you were to travel from McAllen to Brownsville or vice versa, you're not going to have a lot of open areas. There's some because they're up until I think last year we had sugar plantations here as well, but because of taxes, they unfortunately burned them all and have moved. But
that's how you harvest sugar, man.
No. They burnt them to the ground.
No, that's how you harvest sugar.
You're not understanding.
After you chop the cane, you burn the fields.
No, I understand that because when they burned it here, we would have what we called black snow because it would be all over the place. No. Slagged it. Done.
So they burn it completely with the crop in the field and walked away.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, because of taxes. They've moved either back across the border or other places because we did have sugar plantations down here, but there was a big deal about this about a year ago. All the sugar plantations on this side of the border, at least, gone.
And they moved across on the other side.
Or elsewhere. I don't know
Louisiana.
The basis behind that, maybe. But yeah, no, here gone. Not just burnt is what they do to harvest it. Gone.
No shit.
Yeah. But anyway, the point I was making from McAllen to Brownsville to McAllen, either way, you're not going to see a lot of open areas, although there are as you go further and further out from the highway. It's pretty much city the whole way. They're little cities. They're a little tiny. San Benito is one of those, for a perfect example. Rancho Viejo, that's another one I was thinking of. Very tiny. A lot of them very, like Rancho Viejo is very heavily what they call Mexican nationals that run the city. That's very heavily populated. You're going to see a lot of those little towns like that run that way here because we are a border town.
Yeah, and there, on the water tower, it's got a picture of oh my God, I can't think of his name.
Freddie
Jesus
Fender?
Christ, Freddie Fender.
That's San Benito.
Yeah, San Benito. Freddie Fender's picture is on the water tower. Birthplace of Freddie Fender.
Yeah,
and I think about that.
The Rancho Viejo water tower is a golf ball.
There was a movie in the late 80s that was filmed down there called the Milagro Beanfield War, which Freddie Fender's in. If you've never seen it, you guys can get a good glimpse of what that area looks like. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's coastal plain, which is nice. If you're familiar with coastal plain, that's what it is.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. we veered way far off.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, well, I mean, we had to give them some idea of what we're talking about. So it was important.
But backing up, Transit Method, listen to them.
Yes, Transit Method's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
As much as I love that song, the next song in our list is my favorite in this list. It is Ojos Açaí by Santa Obscuridad. Ojos Açaí, open your eyes, or eyes open. And it's Santa Obscuridad is obscured saint. So when I was originally talking about the history lesson, there is in Texas and in northern Mexico, there is German, there is Middle Eastern, there is Jewish, Aztec, American, British, uh, all of these different cultures. You can hear them all in this song. All of it. All of it is in this song from start to finish. There is this lovely, lovely singer that they got to she's not part of the band most of the time. Her name is Maria Cristina Pumarejo. She's basically like they hire her to sing at events, right? They got her to sing on this because they wanted to show that Spanish guitar flamenco sound. She's basically a flamenco singer. And oh my God, Santa Obscuridad are from Houston, Texas originally. Houston's not far from them. They are heavy metal. They basically like to center their songs around society and life. They are independent. They are unsigned. They do produce their own thing. Santa Obscuridad is Spanish for holy darkness. The band is Ray Solis, who's on bass, Jamie Rocio on drums, Larry Barragan on guitars, Rudy Roca on guitars, Juan Ramirez on vocals. They self-produced 2 albums, the eponymous one in 2019 and 2 in 2022. Maria Cristina Pumarejo is a singer, artist, songwriter, entertainer from the Houston, Texas area. Okay. You know, when we say go ahead and just watch the video, just watch. I cannot put into words what this is. It's everything. I am relatively certain that somewhere in the background of this video there is a kitchen sink because everything else is in there. What did you think about Ojos Acai by Santa Obscuridad?
So before I get into that, let me touch on a point. When Zig said Houston's not far from us, some of our people who are not in Texas that are listening,
I'm sorry,
may have a misunderstanding of what not too far is. From here to Houston is almost 5 hours away. That's relatively close in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, that's not too far.
Some of our listeners in smaller states may think relatively close. Oh, it must be a half hour away. No. Almost 5 hours to Houston for me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Austin is not too far away from me, and it's about 4 or 5 hours.
Right.
Same with San Antonio. That's not that bad. That's one stop.
So we have a very different view of what floats here.
Geoffrey is 8 hours away.
9. You can get here in 8. You gotta blow some speed limits pretty good, but you can get here in 8.
Yeah.
It took me as long to get from here to Dallas Fort Worth as it did Mike and Brenda to travel from the St. Louis area to Dallas Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're on the Illinois side in St. Louis. Same amount of time.
So with that,
kids, there are parts of Texas that are closer to Canada than there are Mexico than it is Mexico.
Yeah. I almost hated that Transit Method was where it was in the list, because after Transit Method, I'm like, this takes me back to that first indie list we did with Still Corners, The Trip in it. Mm-hmm. Nothing else could stand up to that song.
Yeah.
To this day, I love this song. And I really, really thought that's what we were going to have with Transit Method because I so like that song.
Yeah.
So I was really kind of wondering, what's going to follow Transit Method. And I was very prepared to not be as enthralled because of how good Transit Method was. I was very surprised. This band rocks. It's Tejano heavy metal. I never knew such a thing existed. This was an awesome song, and absolutely agree.
Metal, baby.
Absolutely agree. Watch the video. Watch the video with it.
Yeah, because you get lots of Maria Cristina. You get a lot of pictures of her basically in a black flamenco dress, twirling her skirt and just singing. And she is, how do I say this? how do I say this in such a way that doesn't make me sound like a lecher? She she is uh, a vision. She's a vision from on high. There we go. I'll say it like that. She's a vision from on high. When she's singing, I understand why she has fans. Let's just say that. Are you stepping away from that?
I'm letting you carry on.
Giving me plenty of rope?
Yep.
Lovely. We'll just say lovely. Yeah, and these guys are hardcore. Now, she's not in all of their music. She did a couple of tunes with them, mostly this one. I wish she would do more with them because I like the juxtaposition of her voice and his voice and all of the metal in between.
Yeah.
But again, you get those Middle Eastern influences. You get those Mexica or Aztec influences. You get Spanish and there's some American influences and just it's everything. It is everything you want in music is in this song. And it's a metal song and I fucking love it. And there's like a building march. It starts with a metal has a lot of march to it, but this is it just builds. It's like, God damn. I found myself, when we first got this list, I found myself listening to this song over and over and over again and said it to some friends of mine. Hey, do you know about these guys? It's like, whoa, where are these guys from? It's like, they're down in the valley. And they have fans up here now because of that. It's just like, oh my God, check it out. But I, again, would like to see more stuff done with Maria Christina, but she's got her own career. So
you should do exactly what I did with Transit Method. Look them up on Facebook and message them. Let them know. Let them know about this episode that's coming out and that they're featured in it because you feel so strongly. That's exactly why I reached out to Transit Method because I felt exactly the same about that. I had to know more about these people. I need to let more people know about that band.
Yeah, they're badass. They're badass. Okay. The next song in the list is by the Dolts. It's called In Propeller because the Dolts' big thing is they wear propeller hats. It is off of their album So-Called Free Thinkers. Actually, I think it's an EP. It is on Bandcamp. You can buy the album for $5. It's Propeller, Big Bastardly, Class Clown, I Mean I Am, Ideal Man, and Friend or Fucko. It was released on July 7th of 2024. The band they don't really have regular names. I think it's Matt Gosho and Landon Tuttle and Jeff Polon. But they refer to themselves as Big Bastard, Bad Breath, Mad Matt, and Mean Dean. There is definitely a Dead Milkmen feel about this band. They are not from the area. What I found about them, they were actually originally from like South Carolina, but they all moved to the Valley because they liked the music scene down there. And so that's where they're based. It is the Dolts. And the name of the song is In Propeller. What did you think about this?
So I pulled this song up and I was like, Rio Grande Valley death metal? Are you kidding me? I'm not as much in death metal like this, but their video was pretty funny. I'm not really sure if that's what they were going for because it looks like they might have been going for horror, but
no, I think it's horror comedy. They're goofy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess for death metal it was okay. At least he wasn't screaming out of tune like so many I've heard.
Oh no. He screams in tune.
Yeah. This just wasn't for me. I'm not a big death metal fan, but they were entertaining. They were entertaining enough.
Yeah, I like them. I think they're funny. I bet their shows are fun because the whole thing with the beanies, with the hats with the little propellers, that's like their thing. And the big stupid oversized bow ties and short pants. That's kind of what they do. So I bet they're a lot of fun. I mean, there's probably propeller hats being thrown out in shows. I don't think I'd mind seeing these guys. Although I might want earplugs because they do kind of hit it hard. Real hard. The next band is Mars Overdrive with Leave It All Behind. They're a South Texas rock band formed in 2015 in Mission, Texas. They classify themselves as a rock band. Their style of music varies from song to song, making it difficult to pinpoint their exact music style. But like the lead singer, Marcelino, usually says, we have musical ADD and we seem to have a lot of colors in the Crayola box. He was a big fan and a good friend of the band, often described Mars Overdrive music as 70s influence with a 90s rock driving flair mixed with that special rock attitude that can only be found in South Texas. The band members of Mars Overdrive have been playing in different rock bands since the early 90s. They've each had their share of band experience, from recording albums of the original music to playing hundreds of different venues all across the beautiful state of Texas, which is how they put it. It wasn't until 2008 that Marcelino invited Hugo to join his new band and immediately began writing songs. On August 24th, 2017, Mars Overdrive released their debut album, In the Light of Day. This is the album with Beat My Soul. To me, and this is Leave It All Behind is the name of the song we covered on this one. To me, this song has a kind of a punkabilly sound to it, or this band has kind of a punkabilly sound to it. We have another one later on that has a real big punkabilly sound to it. I like these guys. These guys are right up my alley. I was curious as to know what you thought about Mars Overdrive.
I could easily see how this is in your wheelhouse. The song is good, and I don't mean to downplay it when I say this, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
Easily yours, just not for me. There's nothing particularly wrong with this song, but this is just a style I don't listen to.
Yeah.
For someone who likes this style of music, I very much see how they would really like this song. It's just not mine, but they're, like I said, the song is good.
Yeah.
Just not for me.
Yeah, if you're into punkabilly, you're gonna dig these guys because it's not exactly punkabilly, but it's got that feel on it.
Yeah,
it's got punkabilly DNA. They definitely have a punkabilly cousin somewhere. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, the next band is a hardcore punk band. They are called the Terroristic. That's TERRORISTIK Threat, and the name of the song is What a Mess. They are from Raymondville, Texas, and they are straight up punk rock. There's not a lot out there about this band. They're all self-produced.
Raymondville is tiny. That's interesting.
Yeah, but apparently they play all over the valley, and most of the recordings we have of them are live. There was another band, an English band called Terroristic Threat that spells it differently, that every time you go to look for these guys, they'll point you to that one. You got to dig to find them. But yeah, they're from Raymondville. I think this is one of the bands that Jenn goes and sees pretty regularly because from what she was telling me, they put on a pretty raucous show. What did you think about Terroristic Threat?
Again, not a song for me. And I was like, is this heavy metal or punk? We've done enough of these lists. I see the appeal to you, just not me. Thankfully, this was a short song. I did not, to steal a phrase, I did not Steven skip through anything on any of these, any of this music, but this is just one that's not for me.
Nice. That's fair. I didn't figure you'd dig this one. I dug the shit out of it. But I mean, again, I can only listen to so much hardcore punk anymore. I am not 17, 18 years old. I am, as of next week, 52 years old. I do like a little bit of it, but I can't keep up because I want to jump around to it, and I can't. I can only jump around so long anymore. The next song on our list, but yeah, you guys should check out the list anyway. And again, I think I've said this before. The best way to view this show, if you're watching it on YouTube and you want to hear the music list, go to the playlist. Go to the bottom of the playlist. Listen to the show from there. When we get to the song, pause it, go up and play the song. That's how I listen to them when I'm listening to them at home. And yes, I do listen to us. mostly to check out my mistakes, because sometimes I will say things that are just wrong. And it's not because I'm intentionally saying them wrong, or that I didn't know, but sometimes my brain switches nouns. Like in the Goth episode, I kept referring to Andrew Eldritch as Palmer Eldritch. Palmer Eldritch is a character in a H.P. Lovecraft novel. The two names are interchangeable in my brain. His name is Andrew Eldritch, not Palmer Eldritch. Palmer Eldritch is an H.P. Lovecraft character. But things like that happen to happen, and I like to listen for that so I can go back and go, "Oh, hey, I made a mistake." It's because the synapses are all firing at the same time, especially when we're doing this show, because I really like to geek out about some of this stuff. The next song is Three Bad Jacks. Run Johnny Run. This isn't a band that has a punkabilly cousin. This is their punkabilly cousin. It's a little wheeling and dealing at the crossroads, a quick slap to an upright bass and a smoking beat. Add to the mixed guitar chops of Elvis Suissa, and the Three Bad Jacks music comes in to stretch the borders of rock. Three Bad Jacks are the bastard sons of rock and roll's greats like Elvis Presley, Joe Strummer, Johnny Cash, and Joey Ramone. This full throttle trio fuses the best parts of rock, punk, and rockabilly in a unique sound that defies any label or category. Three Bad Jacks have received a well-deserved reputation for a fantastic live show and supported their 1999 release, Made of Stone. So they've been going on since 1999. Most recent release, Crazy in the Head. 3 releases along with 20 separate t-shirt designs, stickers, and other merchandise are strong sellers in traditional retail outlets and at shows. So they're like Ned's Atomic Dust Band. They fund their rockabilly lifestyle by selling t-shirts and stickers and stuff. And I think they're real big in the rockabilly or punkabilly car community and stuff like that, and they play at those festivals. So that's a lot of fun there. They are a South Texas band. I like them, but I'm a big fan of punkabilly. To me, this is what rock and roll is supposed to sound like. What do you think about Three Bad Jacks and Run Johnny Run?
So it's funny that you said you really weren't sure what genre to put them in. Here, let me put them in a genre for you. I need to grab my phone real quick and make a phone call. Hey, Quentin Tarantino, do you need some music for your next movie? Here it is.
Yeah.
This song could have fit in just about any Tarantino movie and fit in with all the rest. I like this one a lot. Great song. And I would love for Tarantino to hear these people and go, yeah, this fits in one of my movies, because it's perfect for it. It was a great song, and really enjoyed this one.
Yeah. They've been going on for about 25, 26 years. And again, it's, hats off to them. They do really cool t-shirts and stuff like that. And that's what the people in this community, because it's a nerd out. Punkabilly is a big nerd out. You've got the music, you've got the cars, the hairstyles, they all do bowling and play cards and shoot dice, smoke cigarettes, drink liquor, and it's just a whole thing. There's a big thing around it.
Here's what I think you ought to do, very honestly, with this entire list, is find the Facebook for every one of these groups and reach out to them and let them know we featured them on the show, because especially being local bands, I think that would mean a lot to them that they are getting their name out there more. Let them know we featured them on the show. Let them know the date this show is going to be released. Transit method, they said, hey, make sure to ping us and let us know the week it's coming out so we're reminded. I think you should do that with each one of these, especially as much as you really like this whole list. I think you should do that.
I like everything on this list.
If you go and you follow their Facebook page, you'll most likely be able to contact them.
Well, some of them I already have. The next band in the list is, okay, so Jenn gave me 9 songs. I had to add one to make it a 10th. This is the band I added. It is the Easy Band. They do a lot of Tejano covers. So they're kind of a party band. They are from Houston, Texas. Their story begins with Augustine, Jaime's father, who laid the foundation for the group's passion for music by singing on buses in Mexico, accompanied by Nacho on the accordion. Augustine would travel around Mexico playing music on buses to make a living and share their art with passengers. At the age of 17, Augustine learned to play the bajo sexto from Atilano Ochoa of Los Montances del Alamo, deepening his connection to the rich musical traditions that would later shape Easy Band. You're welcome. Montalban. Ricardo Montalban. He passed down his love for music to his family, shaping the path that led to the formation of the band. They were originally known as Viento Nortino, which is a style of music. The band was started by Augustine alongside Jaime's uncles, Nico and Kiko. So basically, it's a family band. And they wanted to do play basically norteño, cumbia, and other stuff. They changed their name to the Easy Band, just because Viento Norteño is hard for some people to say. They're from Houston. They tour all over the world. They're mostly based in South Texas. They come up here a lot too. But basically, they do indie covers. They've got a version of "Take on Me" that's also awesome. But it's a norteño, or what we refer to as Tejano music. In Mexico, they call it norteño because it's north, and here we call it Tejano music. But basically, it's got the accordion, so you've got the oompa music. It's got that big bass guitar, which is what he was talking about, and other things. Plus, they also put in electric guitar and drums and violins. It's a mix of everything. And they covered the Smiths. It's This Charming Man. And as much as I like Johnny Marr's guitar work, this sounds great on an accordion. What did you think about This Charming Man by the Easy Band?
Yeah, you just hit it, because as soon as this song opened, I went, holy shit, this is a Hispanic cover of the Smiths with an accordion.
Yeah, it is.
I loved every single second of this song. I want more of these guys. And you talked about that Take on Me. I'm going to find that because I want to hear that. This band was so much fun.
I follow these guys on Facebook and on TikTok.
Did you reach out to them?
Yes.
Okay. Did they respond?
No.
No. Okay.
But these guys are busy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're about to break.
Gotcha.
Like when we were doing local indie bands a couple of years ago, and I talked about Dexter and the Moon Rocks. Dexter and the Moon Rocks just broke. They're playing the Warped Tour this year. These guys are they're busy.
They were good. This song was a ton of fun. I'm going to definitely listen to more of them, especially knowing that I mean I didn't know that they did more covers than just this, and I just laughed thinking, oh my God, Ziggy found a cover band, a Tejano cover band of the Smiths. How appropriate.
The Smiths. They do a lot of stuff like this. That's basically their bread and butter. They also do some traditional Tejano or norteño music, and some cumbias. And it's just a smooth groove. They play a lot of like fairs and festivals and stuff too, because people just like them, because you get that Tejano and then they bust out with punctured bicycle on a hillside. And the guy could sing like a son bitch too. He's really good. And what's really great is he'll sing it in English and then he'll bust it out in a little Spanish and then come right back with English. Yeah, I love these guys. This is the only band that I put in the list. All of the rest of this came from Jenn, because she's following a lot of these guys because she's into that underground music scene. That's why she listens to our show, because she's like, oh, cool, I like underground music. And apparently, underground music is huge in the Valley, and I had no idea until you moved down there. Like this is all news to me. I figured it was all stuff like the Easy Band. But no, there's metal and punk and new wave. I found a goth band that's based in the Valley, and guess what? They're in the next goth episode. Because you asked for a goth episode. Let's do another goth episode. So I went out and found one.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear more. I've got a ton of that in my list because of
Yeah.
that, and I
Yeah.
want to know more.
Yeah. So we're doing a third goth episode as well as bands from the Valley because these guys hit on both those criteria.
Oh, before you get to the last one, I'll and I was going to save it for the end, but I'll say it right now while it's fresh in my head. I want a part two of this list. I want to hear more of Rio Grande Valley music because this list was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's great is it's all stuff that you can go out and hear.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah.
Either 2 drinks or $10.
Right.
And
I love locals like that are really good that you can, you hear them for, a few dollars. We had, when we worked at the sports bar Sharky's in Fort Worth, Texas, years and years ago, on Friday and Saturday nights, we started having bands come in, and most of them were local. And I'll give a shout out for Scorpio Scorpio Entertainment, whatever his name was. He had a lot of really good acts that he managed and promoted. We had some really, really great local bands that came through in that bar. What was that? Checkmate was a really, really good band.
Quasi and the Motos, they were great.
Quasi and the Motos was really good.
Professor D and the Play School, they were great.
Well, but they were a little bigger than local.
Professor we had Joaquin Carrasco too play.
Yeah, had that at one point. What was the name of the group that always opened with Subdivisions? Because I really liked them. Oh, I hate that I'm forgetting their name right now.
We also had that one band that was really into metal, Vengeance. I didn't care for them.
I wasn't real big in them.
Yeah, they played there a lot.
But anyway,
they were good. Yeah, it just wasn't my scene.
No. Whatever local band that was they opened every single show with Subdivisions, which was really cool. We had a lot of local acts that came through there, and we charged like a $5 cover. Maybe it was $10. I can't remember.
It was $5. It was $5.
This was in the 90s, and you got in for $5. The drinks were cheap on top of that, and had a really good time with some local band. And had good cheap burgers too, and nachos. Yeah. But I liked these local bands and getting them not debuted, but getting them showcased in this club and getting their name out there. And I love that for these groups as well. Which is why I want another one of these lists. I want to know more about the local bands and hear more of the local music. But I love bands like this that are just they're doing that local circuit, the little small bars, the little small venues with a dirt cheap fee to get in and some cheap drinks, just going in there and playing their ass off. So anyway, that's my interjection with that. Continue on to the last.
No, you're good. I was actually about to mention that. I was like, we used to work at a bar. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. That sounds awesome. The next time I come down there, I hit up Jenn and find out where some of these guys are playing because I'd like to see them live. So the next one that she gave me, I had a hard time finding. The Associates, also known as the Duets, are a punk rock band from Brownsville, Texas. The YouTube is listed as the Associates. They're also called the Duets. I think it's actually 2 bands, but it's got the same members in them, so they kind of go back and forth, which is not uncommon. And this is a punk rock band in punk rock. The name of this song is "The Mutant Kid from Brownsville, Texas." I love this song. This song sounds like what I was hearing in 1989 on the west side of Fort Worth, Texas. This song reminds me of being a teenager in 1989, which is why I love it. I don't think Geoffrey's necessarily going to love this one because it's a little punky. But when I'm talking about local, high energy, angry, young punk rock, This is what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. This is what the Toadies used to sound like. This is what this is what I'm talking about. And I don't hear this that often. Because usually by the time these guys were able to record, their sound got cleaned up. You don't hear it like this. This is not a great recording, but it's as good as I could find. What did you think about the mutant kid from Brownsville?
You were right. Did not like this one. Way too punk for me. You talked about 89 listening to music. This band made me think of that band in that bar in Austin we went to that one time.
Oh yeah, I love those guys.
I know you did, and that's what I'm saying. This sounded exactly like it. I didn't like that.
We'd moved all day and it was 100 degrees and I was so tired, but I wanted to dance. So I just got as close as I could in my chair and drank some beer and was hopping up and down in my chair, which was a bicycle seat.
I didn't like that band. I didn't like this band. It's not my flavor of music. That being said, I easily see why you like it. It fits right in with your shit.
Yes.
It's perfect for you. It's not for me. That heavy punk sound is just not my flavor.
Not your flavor.
But it's yours, and that's great. So I'm glad that you're highlighting them because like I said, I think that's very important with these local bands. I think going forward, anytime we do an indie list, anytime we do a local thing from whatever city, whatever area, I would love to have a part 2 on this. I think part of that broadcast is we reach out to every one of these bands and let them know, hey, we're featuring you on our show. Loved your stuff, blah, blah, blah. So some of these guys, I want a whole new list with a whole new list of RGV bands because I'd like to know some of these guys in this list. I'm going to keep a look for shows, and I'm going to go to one because this was a good list. I enjoyed this a lot. I liked more than half of the music on here and had a lot of fun with some of them. So some really, really good stuff in here. So Jenn, thank you for giving us this list. I was not expecting to like this list, and I really did.
Thank you, Jenn. This was exceptional. Again, I only added one. Yeah. And it was the easy band. Everybody else was Jenn's list.
Yeah, no, great music, great music. I want a part 2 of this list for sure.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Sure.
With that, we could step over to the murdery side of the aisle.
Murder.
For today, I got my information off CBS News, Wikipedia, People, and the Austin American Statesman. So we're going to stay in Texas with the yogurt shop murders.
The yogurt shop murders?
You've never heard of this. This was huge. Huge.
Wait, is this why I can't believe it's not yogurt closed?
Yep.
Okay, I knew there was something, but I don't. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm kind of remembering.
Yep.
Okay.
At least in Austin, Texas. I don't know if they're closed nationwide, but yeah, in Austin, Texas for sure. So this was December 6th, 1991. 17-year-old Eliza Thomas, 13-year-old Amy Ayers, and 2 sisters, 17-year-old Jennifer Harbison and 15-year-old Sarah Harbison, were found gagged, tied up with their own clothing, and shot in the head in an I Can't Believe It's yogurt shop in Austin, Texas. Whoever was responsible also set the shop on fire, compromising much of the evidence. Both Eliza and Jennifer had been working at the yogurt shop that night. They were getting ready to close when Jennifer's sister Sarah and their friend Amy met them there to head home. Approximately 1 hour before closing time, a man who tried to hustle customers in his line was permitted to use the bathroom in the back. He took a very long time and very possibly may have jammed the rear door open. There was a couple who left the shop shortly before 11 p.m., and Jennifer then locked the front door to prevent more customers from entering, and then reported seeing 2 men, or the couple who left reported seeing 2 men at the table who were acting strangely. The so-called yogurt shop murders is, to this day, one of Austin's most heinous crimes, though the details of the cold case may have become hazy in the city's memory. Shortly before midnight on the 6th, the patrolman from the Austin Police Department noticed a fire coming from the I Can't Believe It's yogurt shop, reported it to his dispatcher, and after the fire was extinguished, firefighters discovered 4 nude bodies. Each had been shot in the head execution style with a .22 caliber bullet. Sarah, Eliza, and Jennifer were all gagged and bound with their own underwear, and all 3 had been severely charred and shot in the back of the head and at least one of them had been raped. There was a .22 and a .380 that were used to commit the murders. The perpetrator most likely exited through the back door, again, that was found unlocked. However, unlike the others, Amy's body was found in a separate part of the shop, and she was not charred, but she had received second and very early third-degree burns on 20 to 25% of her body. She was found with a sock-like cloth around her neck. She had been shot the same as the others. However, the bullet had missed her brain. She also had a second bullet wound, which caused severe damage to her brain, exiting through her lateral cheek and jawline. As I talked about the 2 different calibers, the gunshot wounds did reveal 2 types of guns were used, but there was very little other evidence at the scene, and debris from the fire complicated the early investigation.
And it's 1991. We didn't have the technology or the rigorous attention to detail in the police departments that we have now.
Right. Billboards were placed all over Austin that depicted the 4 girls following the murders. There was a reward for information. The Austin Police Department soon developed a task force that was dedicated solely to solving the crime. Government agencies, including the FBI, were called in to assist, but ultimately the case went cold until 1999, when 4 men were arrested and charged with the murders. Initial investigations had produced a large number of persons of interest, among them a 15-year-old caught with a .22, which was not established to be the murder weapon. He was found in a nearby mall days after the killings. He initially gave promising information, but after tough questioning, the detective decided he was trying to get himself out of the gun charge and eliminated him and 3 petty criminal friends whom he had implicated, none of whom were older than 17 at the time. Several years later, a new detective on the case theorized that the 4 teens from the 1991 were credible suspects. By that time, they were in their 20s. And in a string of interrogations conducted by various detectives, confessions were obtained from some of the suspects. They said all 4, Robert Springsteen, Michael Scott, Maurice Pierce, and Forrest Wellborn, had participated in the murder. There was no record of what was said to the men in the 91 interrogations, which made it impossible to know whether the detectives had supplied information to suspects in their initial interrogation. Such information could be used to implicate the suspects in later interrogations if they were to reference it. All 4 of the men were released back then for lack of evidence, but in 1999, when a new team of investigators were taking a fresh look at the case, they obtained confessions from 2 of the 4 men, Robert Springsteen and Michael Scott. Those questions would later be called into question after the 2 recanted, saying they were coerced, and charges were ultimately dropped against Maurice Pierce and Forrest Wellborn due to lack of evidence, and Robert Springsteen and Michael Scott were the only 2 to go on trial. I want to stop real quick and talk about the confessions and saying they were coerced just as a point of interest. Listen to next week's show, and you're going to hear more about coercion.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, continuing on. So the sole evidence against them were their own words. Michael Scott said he knew that the front door of the yogurt shop was locked and that the key had been left in the lock. He also knew that the killers had entered the shop through the back door, which had been left open. Scott recalled hearing one of the girls tell Pierce that the money had been dropped, that is, placed in the drop safe. He also described hearing someone slap one of the girls, and this was consistent with the autopsy finding of a contusion on Amy Eyer's lower lip. Scott also knew that a .22 revolver and .380 semi-automatic were used in the murders, and he knew that 5 shots had been fired. Although Scott
knows an awful lot about this, and none of this was publicized.
Again, we're not sure what's coerced, so take it all with a grain of salt. Although Scott said one of the girls had been killed in the office, he also said that she had been by the shop safe, which is in fact where Amy Ayer's body was found. Scott also told police that Amy Ayers was still alive after he shot her, a fact consistent with the autopsy findings. And most tellingly, Scott described piling the bodies of the three girls together in the middle of the storage area, covering them with a flammable material and setting them on fire. This accurate description of the origin of the fire could not have been the result of police suggestion because at the time when Scott was being questioned, it was believed that the killers had started the fire in the shelves along the wall. It was only after Scott gave his statements that another arson expert re-examined the evidence and concluded that the fire had begun on the bodies as Scott had described. So, recognizing the importance of this evidence, Scott's trial counsel spent hours cross-examining the state's arson experts in an effort to discredit their testimony. The defense did not, however, offer any contradictory expert testimony. Both men were convicted, but a few years later, their convictions were overturned on constitutional grounds. The Sixth Amendment gives defendants the right to confront accusers, and in Scott and Springsteen's trials, their confessions were used against one another, but they weren't allowed to question each other in court. Texas courts later decided that those released were not entitled to compensation as they had not proven they did not commit the crime. One of the detectives in the interrogation, Hector Polanco, had been accused of coercing false confessions in a previous notorious case involving exonerated defendants Christopher Ochoa and Richard Danziger. Both were released after 15 years in prison. Danziger was assaulted in prison, which resulted in permanent brain damage. At the time, Rosemary Limburg was the district attorney for Travis County, Texas, and she was intent on retrying Springsteen and Scott. But before doing so, her office decided to take advantage of what was then a fairly new type of DNA testing called Y-STR testing. It was a way for searching and extracting male DNA only. The Y-STR testing was ordered on vaginal swabs taken from the victims at the time of the murders. By this point, investigators had come to believe that at least one of the victims had been sexually assaulted. As a result of the YSTR testing, a partial male DNA profile was obtained from one of the girls, but to the surprise of the district attorney's office, the DNA sample did not match any of the four men who were arrested. C.C. Moore, who is a DNA expert and genetic genealogist, said that the YSTR DNA is a tool that's sometimes used in criminal cases. And Moore explained that it can, quote, can eliminate almost everyone but the suspect. The prosecutors were still determined to retry Spring and Scott, but before doing so, they wanted to figure out who that mystery DNA belonged to. District Attorney Lemberg said more than 100 men, such as crime scene investigators and personnel from the medical examiner's office who might have come in contact with the body and possibly been a source of contamination, were tested, but it was all to no avail. In 2009, with no matches, the charges against Springsteen and Scott were dropped, and after nearly 10 years behind bars, they were released but not exonerated, leaving open the possibility they could be retried at a later time. At the time of the killings, there was a known serial killer, Kenneth McDuff, episode 102, by the way. Go back and listen to that.
102, kids.
Kenneth McDuff was in the area. He had a history of multiple murders involving teenagers, but was soon ruled out. He was executed on November 17th, 1998. Austin police admit that over 50 people, including McDuff, on the day of his execution had confessed to the yogurt shop murders. A confession in 1992 by two Mexican nationals held by Mexican authorities was soon disputed and finally ruled false. On December 23rd, 2010, Austin police officer Frank Wilson and his rookie partner, Bradley Smith, conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle driven by Maurice Pierce, one of the men, in a northern part of the city. After a brief foot pursuit, Pierce struggled with Wilson before removing a knife from his belt and stabbing Wilson in the neck. Wilson survived his injuries, but he subsequently pulled out his gun and shot and killed Pierce. For years, officials have been trying to track down the source of the mystery DNA. And then in 2017, an Austin police investigator searched a public online DNA database used for population studies to see if he could get a hit. and unbelievably he did, which seemed to be the most promising lead in years, but there was a problem. The seemingly matching sample in the public database had been submitted anonymously by the FBI and had no name attached to it. When officials in Austin contacted the FBI in an effort to get a name, the FBI would not provide it, citing privacy laws. So frustrated, city officials reached out to U.S. Congressman Michael McCall, who is from Austin, for help.
The FBI won't give it this. He'll call the congressman.
Right.
Oh no.
Well, McCall pressed the FBI. He learned that in early 2020, the FBI agreed to work with the Austin Police Department to see if further testing could be done on that YD. Are you there?
Yeah, I lost you for a second. Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
2020, they agreed to work with the Austin Police Department, the FBI did, to see if further testing could be done on that YSTR DNA from the crime scene. Initially, the sample from the crime scene was not very detailed and only had 16 markers, but more advanced testing in 2020 came up with an additional 9 markers, bringing the total marker count to 25. However, this more advanced testing revealed that the sample from the crime scene no longer proved to be a match to the sample in the public DNA database. And in a letter to Congressman McCall, the FBI explained the new results, quote, conclusively exclude the male donor of the FBI's sample. As such, the FBI YSTR profile is not an investigative lead. Still, McCall says that he and Austin officials will not rest.
The FBI wouldn't release it because they already knew that it wasn't him, because they'd already run the profile.
Right. Well,
they'd already run it. They know.
Well, and they talked about that. That's privacy laws. They know it. They knew it wasn't it, so they wouldn't release it. They said as much.
Yeah.
McCall and the Austin officials have said they will not rest till they determine who the DNA from the crime scene belongs to. According to McCall, some of the actual YSTR DNA from the sample found on the victim in the yogurt shop case still exists. He said, quote, it's very limited, and that's why we're waiting for science to improve on this because there's very little left. Understand with DNA, you only have so much you can do with it. Every time you take a sample, that's one less time you can sample that sample that evidence, and you will run out.
Mm-hmm.
With DNA research advancing so quickly, McCall does hope that one day the sample of DNA obtained over 30 years ago will finally solve the case. On December 2021, the House Judiciary Committee passed legislation from Michael Call, giving the families of cold case victims the opportunity to petition the federal government to reexamine cases older than 3 years. On February 5th, 2022, it was announced that advanced DNA technology was bringing investigators closer than ever to solving the crime. There was a Y chromosome match for the perpetrator. DNA had been found in a research database of the FBI, but is declined to reveal the identity of the man by anonymity for donors, and because thousands of men could bear this fragment of DNA, which is unable to identify individual. These murders were the subject of Beverly Lowery's 2016 nonfiction book, Who Killed These Girls? Cold Case, The Yogurt Shop Murders. Corey Mitchell's 2016 nonfiction book, Murdered Innocents, and the novel See How Small by Scott Blackwood. The reason I decided to do this is I was going through channels finding something to watch. I saw that on HBO, a 4-part documentary called The Yogurt Shop Murders was released in 2025. I've known about this case for many, 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 many years. I've had it on my list, but I saw that documentary. I'm like, yeah, I need to cover that. It's a really, really good documentary. I highly recommend watching it if you want to get a whole lot of details into this case, even more than I've done. It's a very, very good documentary. If you have any information related to the yogurt shop murders in Austin, you should contact the Austin Police Department Cold Case Unit as they are still investigating the case. If you have any tips, you could submit them through their official website or contact the department directly. The APD's Homicide Cold Case Unit can be reached at 512-974-5210, or you can call 512-472-TIPS. That's 8477. And that's the case of the Austin yogurt shop murder.
Well, thank you, sir.
I've always found this case very fascinating from the first time I heard it. Like I said, I guarantee I've known about this story since before we even started the podcast.
Nice.
It's very
Yeah,
famous.
when you started talking about it, I remember it, and then I remember, oh yeah, something bad happened, and that's why
Yeah.
all the shops closed down. They don't exist anymore. But like before TCBY came into Texas,
Hmm.
this was our frozen yogurt shop.
Yeah, I can't
They were
believe
giving
yogurt was
Baskin and
ever.
Robbins and like Brahms a run for their money.
And
But
I mean, I don't know that this was the catalyst for them closing down. But
in the early '90s, there was something. I remember there was something bad happened because a friend of mine had his mom uh, owned a franchise, and eventually she had to, I think, either switch over to TCBY and sell out, but it's because the company itself was imploding. And this would have been like '93, but it had to do with it. She didn't have to close the franchise because she wasn't making money. She was doing fine, but it was because I can't believe it's not yogurt was imploding. And he gave some weird
um,
reason, and I think this was it.
no, it says here on the internet the events are separate from the business history.
No, well, it must have been something
Um,
else.
yeah. In let's see, in 1996, Yogan Bruz or whatever acquired. I can't believe it's yogurt, and there we go. The acquisition by Yogan Frus in 1996 was the final step in the brand's existence as it was absorbed into the parent company and no longer operated as a standalone brand. So separate,
Yep.
separate. But yeah, this story's always fascinated me. Like I said, I've known it for a very, very long time. Had it on my list of ones I wanted to cover. But when I saw the documentary on HBO, I'm like, yeah, it's time for me to cover this one. Watch the documentary. It's outstanding. So that's it. That's my story for this week.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate you hanging along with that. That will take us to the end of our reporting week. As always, you can find more information about us on nerderymurdery.com. That's our hub for everything that's about it. You'll find links, pictures, more information about various things, stuff about us. Plus, you will find the link to our YouTube page, which Zig so often updates.
Yeah, definitely go listen to this one. Again, if you're going to listen to these episodes with the music lists, go to the playlist, go down to the bottom, play the show, pause it, listen to the music as we talk about it. It is the best way to listen to these because you actually get what we're talking about. And you can pick it right back up where you left off.
And I love to nerd out over this kind of stuff. Take a listen to our end music for this because I did make it to fit with this genre. I thought it was a pretty cool little song, and it's got
You found a little Rocky Tejano.
I didn't
mix.
find it. I created that, man. I created that with AI.
Oh, nice.
I love working with AI. Yeah, I gave it the description of the show and what the show was going to be about, and needed to be Tejano type rock music, and created it. So
nice.
I didn't have to go find shit.
You just made it.
Yeah, so great stuff there. Listen to our end music. You can also find the link to our merchandise page, where if you wish to show off your Nerdery and Murdery fandom, please do consider purchasing something from there. You'll also find the link to our Patreon. Our patrons, along with our merchandise, do go with the costs that are associated with the show. It costs to keep us in the air and keep our uploads and our storage and our website and everything that goes along with that. It does not go to provide for fabulous vacations and Lamborghinis and Ferraris and trips around the world. We do this.
I wish.
I do too. We do this to keep on the air, so those donations do help that. With that, we do appreciate each and every one of you.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review wherever you can. It really helps us, helps others find our content that may be looking for the information we discuss. Please don't forget to check out my Prime Numbers Facebook page. Check out the book. I do expect it'll be released by the time this episode's out. Please check it out. It was a labor of love for me, and I had a great time writing it, and I am currently working on the sequel. Last but not least, before I forget about it, to our good friend Chuck, time to go to sleep now.
Good night, Chuck.
Good night, Chuck. With that,
I've been Zig with your nerdery.
and I'm Geoffrey with your murdering.
Cue the music.